Well, you're here because you filled out a survey about a guy and he scored a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short. Welcome to the Strong Brew, where you get answers to questions you're not supposed to ask. These are some things you may want to know about the man in your life. If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure? Will he try and use money to control you? Will he share housework or just make you do it all? In fights, when he gets angry, does he get aggressive? During intimacy, does he understand that no means no? Is he jealous, suspicious, or possessive? Will his attitude towards you change after having kids? Will he treat your parents with respect? What if you have conflicts with his parents? We tell you what you need to hear, not what you want to hear. These are things nobody else will tell you, things that are important for your future. This is a safe space for truth. No judgment, no platitudes, no login, no payment either. Our questions are from real life, but our answers come from science. Now, I built this thing, me and my husband, and honestly, we built it and we live it. We are both Stanford grads, we both have worked at Google, and we've been happily together since 1998. Along the way, we've added a son, now 13, and 4 dogs. We are genuine folks. If you're a woman trying to understand any man in your life, here is how it works. Go to www.thestrongbrew.life. Click on the Understand a Guy button there. Answer 10 questions about him. Watch a video tailored to your guy. That's all there is to it. It is completely anonymous, no login, no payment, no games, no manipulation. This analysis is obtained by combining solid trait psychology with cutting edge AI ML. We represent each person's personality with what is known as a feature vector. This has 10 elements, so our data is effectively 10 dimensional data. In case you're wondering how we can infer so much from just 10 questions, well, 10 dimensional data is very complex. There is a lot you can learn from that level of detail.
Okay, I think that does it for the preamble. Now let's plunge in. Let's start with this guy in his career. Will he go far or just talk big?
He is unlikely to go far in his career. He may not even talk big in the first place. He doesn't have much drive to push himself forward at work, and when problems come up, he tends to avoid them or walk away rather than face them head on. Most likely, he will settle for whatever comes easily and try to stay safe and comfortable.
Can he bounce back from failure?
When things go wrong at work, he's more likely to break down than bounce back. Instead of trying to solve the problem or ask for help, he may become upset, complain, or even shut down completely. You might see him withdraw and avoid talking about what happened.
What do people at work think of him? Do they like him?
People at work may find him difficult to connect with. He can be short tempered, easily upset, and often keeps to himself. So, building close friendships at work is hard for him. He isn't very polite and can sometimes say things that hurt others, even if he doesn't mean to.
If you do really well in your career, will he become insecure?
If you do really well in your career, he may feel insecure rather than proud. He might become quiet and pull away, feeling unsure about his own place and abilities. Instead of cheering you on, he could get moody or distant, worried that he doesn't match up or fearing what others might think.
What if you start earning more than him?
Yes, if you earn more than him, he's likely to feel insecure or quietly resentful. He may not say anything directly, but you'll notice he becomes quieter or seems uncomfortable when money comes up. This isn't about you doing anything wrong, it's his own worries and doubts getting in the way.
Next, let's talk about how he is with money. Does he overspend? Is he reckless with money?
He tends to be careful with money. He likes things to be in order, so he will usually pay bills on time and avoid risky spending. You won't find him splurging on big purchases or wasting money on things he doesn't need.
Does he show off and pretend to be richer than he is?
He lives a life he can afford and doesn't pretend to be richer than he is. He's practical and careful, making sure he doesn't spend more than he earns. With him, what you see is what you get. He's focused on staying safe and secure, not on pretending or keeping up with others.
Is he too generous, too stingy, or just right?
He is kind at heart but tends to be tight with both money and his way of thinking. He cares deeply for people he loves, but his ways of showing it are simple rather than generous or bold. You'll feel cared for, but may wish he was a little more open or easygoing, both with money and with his thinking.
Will he use money to try and control you?
He is not likely to be openly dishonest, but he might be secretive about money at times. He tends to avoid tough conversations, especially if they make him uncomfortable. Instead of talking things through, he may keep quiet or hope problems just go away.
Let's see how this guy is with sharing housework. Will he share housework or just make you do it?
He probably won't come right out and say housework is only your job, but don't expect him to jump in and help eagerly either. He tends to stick to routines and avoids tackling new responsibilities unless asked. If you want help, you'll need to ask directly and spell out what you need.
Will he help you or just boss you around and tell you what to do?
He is likely to help in a very limited way, mostly doing what he's told rather than taking real responsibility. You might find that he stands by or gives suggestions instead of rolling up his sleeves and getting things done himself. He's not lazy, just not quick to jump into action without clear direction.
Now let's see about how this guy is during fights. In fights, does he try to understand your views or just win the fight?
He usually doesn't argue just to prove he's right, but he can struggle to really understand your side. When things get uncomfortable, he tends to shut down or withdraw instead of listening and working it out together. He may not raise his voice or fight, but you might feel like you're hitting a wall. He just goes quiet rather than talking things through.
Does he become aggressive when angry?
When he's angry, he might not always stay respectful. He can get moody very quickly, and sometimes his words can sting or come out sharper than he means. Afterward, he may withdraw and not talk about what happened, leaving issues hanging in the air.
Does he have a bad temper?
Yes, he does get angry very quickly, and this isn't something you should ignore. Quick temper can make home life stressful, even if he isn't physically aggressive. Sharp words, mood swings, or sudden silence can hurt just as much as shouting.
Will he say sorry and accept his mistakes?
He finds it very hard to say sorry and take responsibility. When something goes wrong, his first reaction is often to pull away, act moody, or even blame you instead of owning up to his part. He struggles with facing uncomfortable emotions and can get defensive when you try to talk things out.
Next, let's talk about intimacy and physical chemistry. During intimacy, does he respect your boundaries? Does he get that no means no?
He may not always understand or respect your boundaries right away. If you say no, he could become frustrated, moody, or withdraw rather than calmly accepting your answer. This can be emotionally draining because you may feel like you have to explain or defend your choices again and again.
If you are not in the mood for intimacy, will he react badly?
Yes, he is likely to take it personally if you're not in the mood for intimacy. Instead of understanding, he may become distant, quiet, or even upset, thinking it's about him rather than how you feel. He might not say much, but his mood can change, and you may feel tension at home.
Can you trust him not to shame you or share your private moments, maybe love letters, photos, or videos, even after a breakup or a bad fight?
You need to be careful here. While he isn't likely to gossip or share your secrets, he can sometimes bring up private moments when he's upset, using them to make a point or win an argument. He doesn't always realize how much his words can hurt.
Is he loyal or is he likely to want to have affairs?
He is more likely to be faithful than easily distracted by other women. He values safety and routine and isn't the type to chase after new excitement or take bold risks in relationships. Loyalty and staying in familiar territory matter more to him than thrill or drama.
Will he be jealous, suspicious, and try to control you?
He is not usually over possessive or jealous in an obvious way. Instead, his main way of handling stress or feeling unsure is to pull back and keep to himself, not to control or watch over you. His style is more about avoiding things that make him uncomfortable rather than acting clingy or possessive.
This guy says he is protective in a good way. Is he actually just being possessive?
No, his protectiveness is not really about being controlling. It's more about wanting things to feel safe and familiar for himself. Rather than bossing you around, he doesn't take charge or watch over you out of a need to control. Instead, he's more likely to withdraw when he feels worried or stressed. However, his need for comfort and routine can make him seem rigid or resistant to change.
Now, onto the topic of kids and how this guy will be as a father. If you guys have kids, will he make you do most of the work?
He's likely to expect you to do most of the work when it comes to parenting. He may not take much initiative or jump in to help on his own, instead, waiting for you to handle daily responsibilities with the kids. For true teamwork in parenting, you'd need to guide him at every step.
Kids are very messy. Will he lose his temper with them?
When the kids mess up or get upset, he is likely to lose his temper rather than stay calm. He can get frustrated or moody quickly, especially if routines are broken or things feel out of control. This can make the children feel nervous or unsure around him when things go wrong.
If you guys have kids, will he still support your career?
He may struggle to fully support you as both a mother and your own person. While he isn't likely to stand in your way, he often stays wrapped up in his own routines and feelings, so he may not notice when you need encouragement or space for yourself. He's not very expressive with support and might take you for granted, letting you handle most things at home and rarely celebrating your achievements or independence.
Will this man say one thing early on, maybe while dating, and then later, after kids and marriage, change his tune and try to make you give up your career?
Yes, you should be cautious. He may seem okay with your career now, but once you have a child, his comfort with routine and order could make him expect you to stay home or take on most of the parenting. He's not the type to openly demand things, but he might quietly hope or assume you'll give up work to focus on the family. Don't ignore your instincts if you sense this could become an issue.
Next, let's see how this guy treats your parents. Will he be respectful with your parents?
He's likely to just act polite on the surface with your parents rather than showing real warmth or building a close relationship with them. He may do what's expected out of respect, but you probably won't see him going out of his way to spend extra time, share stories, or create a strong bond with your family. If your parents need help or attention, you might have to remind or encourage him as he won't naturally take the lead. He is more likely to want your family to adjust to his way of doing things rather than making an effort to change himself.
What if your family creates stress or interferes a bit in your lives?
If your family creates stress or interferes, he is likely to become overwhelmed and may make things worse by shutting down or pulling away. He finds it hard to stay calm in tense situations and may react with moodiness, silence, or even snap at you instead of handling things together. Open, honest talks can help, but patience will be needed.
Then let's analyze the role this guy's family will play in your life. Is this man modern with you but a completely different person when other people, say his parents or bosses, are around?
Yes, this is the kind of man who may be comfortable with you in private, but expect you to act like a traditional supportive wife in front of his relatives. He finds comfort in routine and what others expect, so he might want you to dress, behave, and speak in ways that fit his family's idea of a good daughter in law. While he may not say it openly, you could feel subtle pressure to fit in and follow old customs at family events.
If there is tension between you and his parents, will he support you?
If there's tension, he is more likely to stay out of it rather than openly support you. He avoids conflict and uncomfortable situations. So instead of standing up for you or helping to solve the problem, he may choose to remain quiet or even step aside. Sometimes he might quietly agree with his family just to keep the peace, leaving you to handle things on your own.
Say you have a conflict with his mother, what will this guy do?
He is not the type to openly stand against his mother, even if you are right. He prefers to avoid conflict and keep family routines undisturbed. So, in a disagreement between you and his mother, he is likely to stay silent or quietly support her point of view to avoid trouble. You could often feel alone when it comes to handling his family.
Will he share all the private details of your relationship with his mother or sister?
Yes, he may sometimes share details of your fights or private matters with his mother or sister, especially if he feels stressed or doesn't know how to handle things on his own. He isn't doing this to hurt you, but rather because he finds comfort in talking to his family when he feels lost or overwhelmed. This habit can damage trust and make it harder for your marriage to stay strong and private.
Now let's zoom out and put it all together.
So that's the story. This guy scores a C. In many important ways, this guy is falling short of the standard we would want. Being in a relationship with this man means life is often steady but also emotionally lonely. Day in and day out, you'll find routines are followed and basics are handled, but affection and real teamwork may feel missing.